Station S17, Protocol and Paradox. Chapter 4.
Sadie Hawkins' Dance. The pulsing rhythm of the military dance hall drew Ernest in, a siren call he couldn't ignore. Dressed in his father's old, slightly too tight dress uniform, complete with an array of polished yet outdated insignias pinned unevenly to his chest, he slipped in through the bustling kitchen. He ducked under a hanging rack of freshly cleaned mess tins, his height making it an awkward maneuver, but the thrill of being where he wasn't supposed to be, of breathing the same air as the station's heroes, was intoxicating. He tried his best to look the part, shoulders back, chin up, a quiet yearning in his eyes for a military life he'd never achieve. Meanwhile, on the main dance floor, Colonel Alberta surveyed the milling crowd with a growing sense of frustration. It was a Sadie Hawkins-inspired military ball, the one night a year where the women made the first move. And despite her impeccable uniform, her decorated status, and the sheer force of her personality, she didn't dare approach a single man. She knew why, of course. She had physically abused nearly every man in this room during training exercises, and her sharp tongue had, at one point or another, publicly flayed every woman present. Except for one. A huge, tall civilian pretending like he belonged. She found his presence inexplicable and intriguing. Alberta's gaze, sharp and analytical, snagged on Ernest. He stood out like a misplaced asteroid in a meticulously charted flight path. His uniform, though clearly military, was ill-fitting, the fabric straining across his broad shoulders, the metal color subtly off, too aged. His movements, though attempting military bearing, held a civilian looseness, not combat readiness. He was too tall, too gentle in his posture to be part of the precise, disciplined military personnel she knew. He was a citizen, clearly, and he was clearly not supposed to be here. A flicker of amusement, and perhaps something else, sparked in Alberta's eyes. This was her jurisdiction, a security breach she'd conveniently assigned herself. This was her chance for some fun. She cut a direct path through the throng of dancers, her boots clicking with deliberate purpose. "Citizen, sorry, soldier," Alberta's voice surprisingly soft, yet with an underlying steel cut through the dance hall's buzz. Ernest, startled, turned to face her. She saw the famous cobra in the flesh, her intense gaze fixed on him. His heart hammered against his ribs. "Colonel," Ernest managed, his voice a gentle rumble, a stark contrast to her piercing presence. He offered his most engaging smile, hoping it would disarm her. Alberta's eyebrow arched, a flicker of surprise at his calm demeanor. "And what brings you here in that vintage uniform?" Her tone was laced with an amused skepticism, but her eyes, those famous unyielding eyes, held a trace of curiosity. Ernest took a breath, his heart pounding. He knew he was caught and would be in the brig by the morning, but he had to maintain the facade. "Well, Colonel," he began, forcing a confident tone despite his internal panic. "Just transferred in, actually. Bit of a mix-up with the uniform requisitions, you understand. Still waiting on my proper issue." He gestured vaguely at his ill-fitting attire. "And well, being new, I thought it best to familiarize myself with the station's finest. A little early networking, you might say." He kept his smile genuine, hoping it conveyed a sense of harmless ambition rather than outright deception. Alberta saw right through him, the poorly concealed lie, the yearning in his eyes. It was almost endearing. Her lips twitched, a rare, almost smile. This was far more interesting than she had anticipated. "I see," she said, voice dropping conspiratorially. "So you're looking for a contact, a connection, then? Someone to, shall we say, help you navigate the red tape?" He nodded eagerly. "Exactly. I thought, if I could just show enough initiative, demonstrate my genuine interest." Alberta chuckled, a low, throaty sound that was entirely unexpected. "Initiative is certainly one way to put it. Well, how about this? How about you take me out on a date tomorrow afternoon, and then perhaps we can discuss your initiative." Her offer hung in the air, audacious and utterly unexpected. Ernest's eyes widened. A date? With the formidable Colonel Alberta? This was beyond anything he could have imagined. But if it met a chance, any chance, to see the ceremony in person— He swallowed, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. "Yes, Colonel," he said, his voice firm, his engaging smile returning. "Yes, I would be honored."